Hey folks, so it's a nice day. Very, very humid today. At the moment, the sun is not out, but it's fairly good clouds in the sky. But there's breaks in the cloud, and when the sun's out, it's like super powerful. So, I wasn't sure if I was going to go out today or not, because tornadoes in the States again, and it's heading our way. It's supposed to be here by tonight, and I just want to make sure I got out and enjoyed everything before they got here, or before it got here, the storm system. We won't get tornadoes, not likely anyways. Okay, spider webs all over the monster here. Typical. They always seem to pick the highest point. I guess they got a better chance of getting bugs up there than they do down low. So, I had some goals today. First of all, yesterday, I was going to start working on the monster, and when I went out, well, the rust in there isn't as bad as I expected it to be. I thought there'd be a lot more rust than that. Underneath probably is. I gotta take care of that. But I wanted to charge the batteries up one final time before I took them off, so they're fully charged while they sit and wait. And plugged the charger in. It ran for a second and slowed down, so I figured, okay, they're not going to take much charge. So I went out for a drive. I come home, and actually while I was out, I remembered I had already disconnected the batteries. So they weren't being charged at all. So I did it again today. I came home, it was still charging, but the display was showing full. It was no longer animated, so they're just being trickle charged at that time. Give it that little, extra little boost. So I think, well, I'm ready now. If I sit and wait, I'm gonna end up going in and not getting anything done. I want to at least get the transaxle off today, if nothing else. That's my goal for today. But I used my winch to take the batteries off the monster. Worked perfectly. I'm not even going to attempt to lift those right now. So I got them on a linoleum mat here, just to keep them off the concrete, because for whatever reason, if you set a battery directly on concrete, it drains them. I don't understand the physics behind that, but apparently that's what happens. So they're sitting on a linoleum mat, and hopefully that'll help. Oh my goodness. So I got that done. So now what I gotta do is I'm gonna jack up the monster and put the jacks probably on the side step mount on the back. That's usually where I put them. If the batteries are in, that doesn't help, because it just tilts back and the front comes up, because the back's heavier than the front. But without the batteries in, it should be okay. I'll find out. But I'm just not sure at this moment, because normally I'd just lift the front end up and lift it up as high as I can and stick the jacks underneath. I'm not going to attempt that right now either. I will definitely hurt my back if I try to lift the front end up. So that's not going to happen. So I think I've got it in a good spot. I can get by this side, I can get by this side, I can work at the back, and I can work at the front. I just, whoa! Easy. I can move all this stuff. So I got like a ton of room around this. And when I'm in the garage, I have to have it off to one side, so I can get around and have room to work and get around it and everything. So if I can only work on one side at a time. If I wanted to work on the other side, I had to put the wheels on it, turn it around, and back it in, right? So here I can do everything in one spot, and still have lots of room to move around. Like I can move the welder too, right? I got like a ton of room all the way around. So I separated everything off of my roll-up extension cord here. So everything's up here now. I can plug into here. Not the charger is where I want it to be for now on, to stay here. I just park, and if I want to bring the monster in, I can bring the monster in here. Right? I gotta move some of that stuff so I can get like almost right to the wall, and then I don't have to worry about anything there. And then this is free because I could still use this. There's just 4 outlets on it, but I can't take it anywhere because the charger was always plugged into it. So now I can take it anywhere I want. It's a neighbor's lawnmower I had to do some welding on because the deck was rusted and excuse me, and coming apart. So I had to disconnect everything so I could take this. Well, actually no, I didn't. I used this cord here because I took the welder outside. There just wasn't any room to weld in here, and I didn't want to take a chance on setting anything on fire because everything was so close. So I took the welder outside. I used this cord, plugged it into that, and just kind of dragged everything outside here. Just right about there. So I didn't mind welding beside the propane tanks because the tanks are empty right now anyways. Besides, I don't smell propane, so they're not leaking. If they're not leaking, they're not going to explode, right? And I had that when I was living in the trailer. Oh, I was giving somebody a ride home. I had my propane tank in the back seat. And I stopped to get it filled up, and we're driving down the highway, and I lighten up a smoke. He says, "You're smoking with propane in the car?" I said, "Do you smell propane?" He says, "No, then it's not a problem." Just because there's a propane tank doesn't mean it's going to explode. It has to be leaking. You don't smell propane, it's not leaking. So, that's me anyway. Let's try to remember everything I wanted to get done. I gotta take this wheel off. I gotta change the spindle on this because you remember that this one's stripped. I'm surprised the nut hasn't fallen off. I've actually drove quite a distance with it off, or with it like that, whatever, loose, and it's never fallen off, so thankfully, because the wheel is spinning this direction, which will unscrew the bolt or nut. That hasn't happened, thankfully. So I want to take that off, and the new one is off a Vita Sport. So it's basically the same thing as a Monster, but there are slight differences. Like all 4 wheels are the same size on the Sport, whereas the Monster's got bigger wheels on the back than the front. But the speedometer, when you put the speedometer sender, the speed sensor on the spindle, it goes into a certain specific spot, and it's got a little round bar of steel that sticks out. It goes between the 2 grooves in the top of the speed sender, whatever. On this one, or on the Sport, it's got a tab that comes out and straight down. And this speedometer, I have a second one because I had to change it. So I still have the old one, and I want to jerry-rig it so that I can get it onto the sport spindle. If you understand anything I just said there. I'm not very good at explaining. So I can do that. I still gotta finish welding up the front bumper. I gotta finish putting the rear fender together. And I gotta look for my old controller to figure out where that is. And I can change it. All this I can do with, well, you know, while I'm waiting for the motor and waiting for the rear suspension frame to get that bolt drilled out. Thankfully, I still haven't got my new card yet, but thankfully I did get my carbon tax rebate today. It's $181. That's going to help a lot. A lot. Because like I say, all my money's on my card. I can't use it right now. Well, not all my money, but most of my money's on that card. I can't use it. I'm stuck with what I've got left in the bank. I rarely leave my money in the bank, so I'm not sure why I did this month, but there's a little bit there. So I got that now. That's just gonna help. The reason it's so late is because if you did your, I think I explained this already, if you did your taxes before April 2nd, then everybody got their carbon retax on the same date. If you did it after the 2nd, then you get it the day your taxes have been assessed. Mine was assessed May 1st. Today is the 15th. So it took a couple of weeks. So I got it finally. So I'm happy. I've been waiting for that. I really needed that this month. So my goal today is to get that out and possibly take the rear frame off. I'm not sure if I'll get that far. I do believe at least I did believe. I'm not believing anymore. Okay. I thought my hinge pin remover was in this box. Apparently not. I saw my electrical conduit. Maybe I thought that was it. So it is likely in here. Buried. But I think I stuffed all my extra spare metal in there. I guess I'll find out. So I gotta look for that before I can even take the hinge pin out. Because it fits pretty good. I gotta pound it out. Okay, I'm pretty much done looking for it already. No, it's not up here. That's all the longer, skinnier stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I stuffed it in that bin, so I'll have to search for that. Down here, a lot of this is garbage that came with the shed here. The only thing I have inside this cabinet is a little bit of paint. But this stuff here, I'm just gonna... There was an open path here yesterday. I'm just gonna stuff everything down there. Everything that I can, anyway. Eventually, I want these two heavy behemoths. I want them back in that corner too, because they're just gonna be constantly in the way. Same with the drill press. I'm not sure. I might be able to just shove that back here in the corner once I get all these boxes cleaned up. I am going to put another one of these shelves over here. I'll likely keep my tool cabinet thingy there and just put the shelf here, between here and the table. But it's upstairs still. I got two other ones to go in my bedroom, which I haven't got to yet either, and the other one's got to come down. I'm going to have to get somebody to carry it down with me. Otherwise I'll be bringing it down one piece at a time. And it's going to wear me out really quickly. And my rims aren't too bad. They are scraped up a little. I'm not sure if I'm going to repaint the black. The black actually doesn't look too bad. They look really nice when they're freshly painted, but I definitely got to repaint the red line. Get that part done anyway. Alright, so I got interrupted, so I don't remember exactly what I was talking about. I think I was talking about the red paint on the rims. But the wheels look better when they're freshly painted. Everything's nice and black and shiny. But if I don't paint them, if I just clean them up or whatever, then I gotta at least redo those red lines. Front ones aren't too bad. They're scraped. They're scraped up as well. I don't know what does that. Like that's a deep gouge right there. I don't know what that's from. But these outer parts are only aluminum anyways. So I'm not sure what else I want to talk about. Once I take this apart, I want to get the length of the speedometer cable. I'm gonna look on Amazon because it's $90 if I buy it from the dealer. So I want to see if I can find it on Amazon. I'm not going to be able to get one. It attaches to the back of the display panel. It goes straight down and comes out over here, and it's got like a, I don't remember if it was a 90-degree turn or 45-degree turn where it goes into the speed pickup. But that's where the inner cable would always break at that spot. But rust got to it, and the end of it just kind of rotted away and came off anyways. But I'm not sure if I get a straight one, if a straight one will, I don't know, but I gotta get the length of it. I want to replace that. And the other thing I want to do up front here, if you remember, is if I drive in the rain, the horn comes on and stays on. I was gonna put a switch on the horn itself. It's like right up in here at the front, so I guess probably right about here. It's just a piezo buzzer. So I want to put a switch on it, and I've got this one here. This is for my charger. So if I want to reset the battery, because the battery meter only goes down, and if I go up a steep hill, it'll go way down and it won't come back up. So I turn it off, and I just hit this button. It grounds the charging terminal and makes the controller think that it's being charged, and it'll reset, and it'll go back. It'll reset the full, and then it'll come down to what the batteries are actually at. So I got that button. So I'll probably put it over here so it's out of the way. I got room for a whole bunch of them, but I just got to put one in there, and that one's just, no, it's an on and off. It's not just a push button. So this will be an on and off as well. I've got lots of them. So I will put that on there just to turn that off. So next time I drive in the rain, it's not going to come on and stay on and get everybody's attention because it's super loud. But that's never happened to. I drive in the rain all the time. I've never had an issue. And that's starting. So I'm thinking there's probably, the wiring's probably cracked, right? So water's getting into the wiring and making a connection. I don't know for sure. That's my guess because, like I said, it only happens when it's raining. And it's happened twice to me now. So if that happens, I can actually disconnect the horn, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's see, what else? I gotta fix this. When I pulled the mat up, it's got 3 Velcro pads. Yeah, one of them came off when I pulled it up this time. It's still sticky, but it came off. So I gotta glue it back down. I've got the glue for that anyway, so that won't be an issue. Now I changed the controller, and I'm hoping if I change the controller, I'll get my lights back. Then I won't have to rewire them. But I won't know that until I put the batteries back in, and at that point it's going to be too late for me to really do anything anyways. I don't know. But you can really see here, because I told you that I connected the motor directly to, directly to the battery terminal. So you can see the spot welds on there. I could say it was a big spark. But this one's like melted. And that's melted from being on here. Wow. So this motor really draws power. Look at that. That's heated up pretty good. So what I'm going to do, both of them actually, this one's worse though. Wow, I didn't realize it overheated like that. Like I say, there's a lot of design issues on this. And I think, like I've said from the beginning, the Monster weighs twice as much as a regular scooter. And it's got the same size motor on it. So I think the motor's too small for, this scooter. But that's why I have issues with it. I don't know for sure. But as long as we're living here, I got really nowhere to go. I don't have any steep hills. Just that one going over the berm where the dam used to be. That's the only real hill. Steep hill anyway. So everything should last longer now. As long as we're here anyways. We'll probably end up moving in September. I don't want to do, but, don't really have a choice. That's the part that sucks about renting. Oh, I gotta clean my lens again. I see dust spots. If I can see them without, on this little screen here, then it's definitely you're seeing them. So, I guess, I don't think there's, oh yeah, I want to rewire my strobe light here. As you remember, I was having issues with it. I turn it on, it doesn't come on. And then I wiggle the wires down here, and then it works. So, I want to rewire that. Everything else seems to be okay as far as electrically. Everything on here is still good. I do want to see if I can fix this up a little bit, because this part, it's just got this little tab that sticks into a hole on the back, and it never stays in place. So I want to see if I can redo this somehow. I wanted to see if I can get one off Amazon, but I don't know. It's got dimension something by something. Well, it's a triangle. It's got 3 sides. So what do the two, maybe width and height. I don't know. Maybe they're not exactly triangle. But I like this. I gotta stick a bolt through this or something just to keep it from coming out. This one's kind of loose. So I gotta tighten the nut on the back of that. Make sure this part's broken off. So I gotta put that screw through somewhere else. I can't really do that because there's nowhere else. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I just want to make it a little more sturdy and keep this together so that it's not falling apart. And possibly, if I feel like it, I'm going to put my signal lights on here like I wanted to. Originally, that's what I put these on here for, these brackets. There. Same as these. This one's turned a bit. It's pointing downward. That's not good. They both are. Point up. There we go. I gotta tighten the nut on the inside of them. So I put these on because if I have stuff in here, you can't, it blocks the actual 408s, I guess you call them. That's the only thing I really use them for is 408s. If there's anything in here, people in front of me can't see them. So I put these on just extra brightness. And those exact same ones, I got 2 more that I want to put on the back because they're way underneath here. And especially if I'm towing the trailer, you can't see them. Same with the brake light, the tail light, or whatever. Which is the main reason I put... Oh, that hurt my back. Owie. Which is the main reason I put the strobe light on here. So... now that I went towing them, I don't feel like doing anything. I kind of worried about that, but... the opportunity was there, and I don't get to do that very much. So we went to Timmy's, and I went to Dollarama. Oh. So the last little while you see me driving with the McDonald's cup or Timmy's cup. Reusing them. This one's an actual Timmy's. But I reused the cups because the plastic mug that came with my single cup coffee maker, it's got a big hole where you drink out of, and it's right at the edge, so when I'm hitting bumps, especially on the Celebrity, the bumps are really horrific on that, and it hits that, it splashes right up, straight out of that hole, and it's all over me. So I use my paper cups until I start to leak, and I throw it away, and I start another one. So every time I get a Timmy's or a McDonald's coffee, I save the cups to use when I'm out on the scooter. That's the only time I use them. So, but I got a bunch of things that I can't get here, and I got a new ball cap. The one that I had, I don't know if you've ever seen it on video. I usually only wear it when I'm in the car with Zach. I don't like wearing this in the car. I don't know why. It's not really comfortable in the car. But I wear a ball cap, and Zach gave me a really nice one. It was Canada. It said Canada on it. It had a maple leaf. It was kind of a golden brown, mostly that color, I guess. I don't remember if it was two-tone or what, but I really liked it. It was a really nice hat. And before we moved, we had our yard sale. Michelle wanted to borrow it because we were sitting out in the sun. It was really hot. And I haven't seen it since. So I don't know if it got left behind or if it's still buried in her stuff. I don't know. So I've been wanting to get another. I asked Zach where he got it from. He doesn't remember. But he likes Fox and all this more expensive stuff. So he didn't really want it, so that's why he gave it to me. But I got rid of my old hat because it was dirty. Because I got this nice new one that I really liked. So I went on Amazon last night trying to look to see if I could find the same hat. No, I can't find it. Problem with Amazon is right now, Canada hats are very popular. And anything that says Canada, some of them are, it's like MAGA, but the first A is a maple leaf, so it's like Make Canada Great Again. There's another one, Canada has always been great. Elbows up, that's such a stupid slogan. And Canada's not for sale. There's so many. Oh yeah. USA, A being EH, which drives me nuts. Only East Coasters use that term. But USA, Canada's 11th province. There's a whole bunch of different ones. But the price is so friggin' high on them. So that's the problem. Like I said, because they're so popular right now, they're price gouging everybody. I'm not going to pay like $50 for a friggin' ball cap, right? They're not all that price, but some of them aren't. Go away, mosquito. Some of them aren't that high. That's crazy. But I found one that I really like. There's two versions of it. There's like light gray with a dark gray rim, and there's dark gray with a light gray rim, and they both have a dark maple leaf. It's raised up a little bit. That's probably the one I'm going to go with. And it's $17. I just can't decide which color I like. Whether I like the gray with the black, or light gray with the dark gray, or dark gray with the light gray. I couldn't decide. So I was at Dollarama today. I found the exact same thing. Not exact. The only difference is the maple leaf isn't raised up as much. It's a lot thinner. That's the only difference. And probably the whole hat's probably cheaper quality, right? But $4. So I bought it. Only had one option. Light gray with the dark gray rim. Or visor. So I like it. $4. That's more like it. I would never pay $50 for a freaking hat. Even $17 I don't like. But I would have paid that. I'm getting interrupted again. Okay, I got interrupted again, but that's okay because I got Martin to help me. So normally, when I jack the back of the Monster up, I put the jack stands on the hinge. But because I'm taking these hinges out, or this hinge pin out, I can't attach it there, so I got it on the back of here, like I said I was going to, forgetting that that's not normally where I do it, because that's kind of a tilting point. Even without the batteries in, the back was still heavier than the front, so what I did was I got Martin to hold the front end down while I took the jack out, like I did one side and then I went over to the other, and I put the jack underneath the trailer hitch, and then just gotta let go and it come down. The problem is, when I first put it in, it was straight in, and I can't drop the everything down because this was sticking out underneath the motor, and that's not good. So, like, I can lift it up, very little effort. So it's just past its balancing point there, and now that'll hold it in place. I don't need to worry about everything moving. So we're good that way. The advantage of doing this is, there's a lot of play in the gears. Look at the wobble on that. I gotta fix that. That's the hub worn down. They're both doing it. Wow. So once I get a new transaxle, I gotta, like I was gonna do with this one, but never got to it, was put some spot welds on it. Just freaking dust spots. I gotta try to remember to fix that when I go in. I just put some spot welds on it just to take up that extra gap inside, and then grind it down till the hub fits on. Now it'll be nice and tight, and I won't have to worry about them wearing down again, because if you remember, those are brand new hubs. They're like $70 each. I don't want to replace them again. Especially the last time I did it, it took at least 2 tries to get the right ones, because Heartway doesn't know their product, and they don't send the right things. So the advantage of doing it this way is I don't need 4 jack stands anymore. I can work on the front wheel now. And that, you can see how much all, because it's not on all the way, because of that. The end of the spindle, the threads are stripped, so then that's not all the way on. This one's out a bit too. Wow. It's so hard keeping this thing. The bearings are so close together that there's too much stress on them. But, like I said, just like I figured, I'm done for today. I should have, afterthoughts here, before I lifted that, I should have loosened the wheel bolts. It's a lot easier taking the transaxle out without the wheels on, because these are the bolts I got to take out, and I can't get the wrench in there, so I got to take the wheels off first. So it'll be interesting. Doable, just a little more difficult now. I see so much rust in there. Okay. I got so much to do. And it's already starting to warm up in here. Okay, I guess I'm done for the day. I'm getting there. Things are in motion. It's gonna take a while.